Welcome back to the SoulBackPodcast. This is the R&B podcast. Kyle in the building. I've got Ed and Tom with me. What is going on, guys? It's been a minute.
It's been a minute, player. I don't know when the last time the whole band has been together, but it's about time we get the crew back.
What's up, guys? Before we start, I've been thinking, how come we never talk about one of Ed's favorite artists, Barry White, on this podcast?
Ooh, Barry
First
White.
of all, we are not going to disparage the good, deep name of Barry White, player. He has some joints.
No, he does.
What was that song in the 90s? That Practice What You Preach? Ooh, that was my joint.
I mean, I was just making fun of that one guy who called us out for not mentioning certain random artists on the podcast. I don't even know who that was.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yep.
What were some of those randos? Like
Kenny Lattimore.
Now. Poor
Chucky
Kenny. You need to...
Chucky Booker.
First of all...
the Whitehead brothers.
Oh. No, we do mention them now.
This is why Tom has been in exile for the past 3 or 4 weeks. We kicked him off because he's talking slick about my boys. Go to soulandstereo.com. You see all the hookups on the Whiteheads and the Kennys. I show them love.
Yep. Guys, before we get started, can I give a quick shout out to one of our fans? I mean, we haven't done this in a minute, but I want to give a quick shout out to our boy Ben Cromwell, big time supporter on our site. He always comments on our YouTube videos whenever we upload this podcast. It's kind of funny because he'll say, "Great podcast, that was a great listen," and it's like 2 minutes after we upload it, but he must have some mutant ability to listen to it before we do, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, he supports everyone.
Yep.
Yeah, shout out my man Ben. He just says it's hot because he knows it's going to be hot. Because, he just we have a high standard, player. We hit it every time.
Exactly. Now, talking about hot and hot standards and high standards, can we talk about soul food for a second, Ed?
Okay, what do you need to know about soul food?
Well, remember that last conversation we had about sweet tea versus iced tea?
Oh, yes. How could I forget?
So I did my Wikipedia research, and it turns out that sweet tea and iced tea are completely two different things. Even, like, in Canada, iced tea is like Nestea. It has sugar in it already, but apparently in the States, iced tea is just ice with tea. Tom, can you confirm this?
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, that's unsweetened, isn't that?
Yes, an unsweetened tea is complete garbage.
No one even drinks that. Who drinks that, really, besides vegans or something?
They do. I was at this kind of banquet get-together thing it was about a month or so ago. It was earlier this summer. And all they had was unsweetened tea. And someone went in the back because people were so furious. Someone went in the back and asked the catering staff, "Do you have the sweetened version of this tea?" And they were like, "Nope, we only have unsweetened." So apparently that's a thing. I guess they put it out there for the diabetics among us, but those of us who got taste buds, please put some sugar in that garbage.
Wow. Wait, so before we move on from this, is Nestea considered sweet tea or is it iced tea? I'm confused now.
Well, see,
that's pretty sweet.
That's pretty sweet. Now, I will, in my opinion, and I'm about to get raked over the coals, and you know where to go, E.T. Bowser on Twitter. In my opinion, that's sweet tea. Now, I'm sure people will say, no, it's not, because if the tea got some sugar in it, and there's a lot of sugar in it, it's sweet tea to me. So I count it, although I'm probably in a minority on that, because they want molasses or something weird in their tea.
Molasses?
All right. And then, Tom, have you ever tried, because I'm just looking at Wikipedia right now, have you ever tried Hush Puppies?
I didn't even know what that was, actually. I thought it was like a Slurpee or something.
Oh my, this player thought a Hush Puppy was a Slurpee?
Yeah.
What is it?
Oh my God. Kyle.
Wait a minute. Is it that pink thing you get in the corner store that's like marshmallow with like coconut on it?
No, what is that?
I think it's called Snowballs.
What kind of alien food is that? Oh, you're talking about, okay, I know what that is. No,
that's not
this
that.
is actually, No, it's not that. Oh my God. This is what I got to put up with, y'all. Have you heard of this thing called cornbread? Either of you?
Yes.
I may have had it once in my life.
All right, cornbread. Imagine that being like a little ball, and it's kind of like fried, but that's the closest thing I can describe what a hush puppy is. How can you live your life not knowing what a hush puppy is?
Well, Ed, I'll be honest with you. I thought a biscuit was a baby cracker until you told me otherwise.
Yes, we had this conversation off air. Yes, people. This man thought a biscuit was a cracker. That's called a cracker.
Well, you know what I recently learned, guys? That fast food and R&B these days is like the same thing.
Oh, calm down.
So
here we go.
I'm just. I had a visualization. I will not expand on that.
All right.
Although I did learn that White Castle now serves chicken and waffles.
Oh yeah, I think I heard that. White Castle is not something I enjoy, so you won't catch your.
I've never ate there.
No, it's not my favorite.
It's
like more bread than meat.
Yum.
I want to give a quick shout out to Tom, who announced on his Instagram, filled with a bunch of emojis, and I don't think he knew what emojis were 2 months ago, but he's having a baby boy.
Yes.
So congratulations, Tom, for this. And to coincide with that news, did you guys hear about this KFC promo that they have going on?
I don't think so.
Tom, can you break it down for us?
Pretty much, if your child is born on the birthday of Colonel Sanders, who is the mascot of KFC, and you name your child Colonel Sanders, you will get $11,000. So, that's my goal in life at this point.
All Colonel you have to do is forever name your child after a chicken establishment, and you'll get $11,000. You don't even get can you at least make it six figures? Put the baby through college.
Right.
So shout outs to Colonel Sanders, Leo.
Yep. Pizza Hut Leo, the name was already taken, so we'll go with Colonel Sanders.
Pizza Hut Leo. Oh my God.
To be fair though, that's still a better idea than someone starting a GoFundMe. I hate that website.
Oh.
Well, I can't hate because it works.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, let's. Can we talk about R&B now?
I think that's what we're here for.
Okay. Now, this album I had already proclaimed as the album of the year a couple of podcasts ago. Well, first of all, it is the album cover of the year, Ed, Tom. But Lloyd's new album, True, not to be confused with his EP of the same title, even though 4 of the 10 songs are on that album. He dropped the album last week. Ed, you reviewed it. What did you think?
I sure did review it. Now, looking past the weird cover that has a man standing in the middle of the street in some barren woods, bare butt naked, with a giant guitar hanging off his balls. I don't know why we thought this was a good idea. Anyway, the album itself is pretty good. I will admit I haven't been the biggest Lloyd fan over the years. I like his singles. I like the Get It Shorties and the U's and stuff like that. But as far as his albums, they weren't very interesting to me. But this album, not only is it well produced, he really has something to say. And as many people know, he's had a lot of struggles, and this comeback has kind of part of that, I guess, kind of the grieving process. If you know, it's a lot of it is cathartic when you can kind of use your music to kind of get beyond the struggles that you've had, and that really shines here. As everybody knows, I'm like a journalist or writer in real life, so I am always drawn to good stories, and this album is a good story. Now, like Kyle said though, the drawback that people should know going into this, that pretty much half the album is stuff from the EP that came out 2 or 3 years ago. Stuff that we've already talked about and had on our top 10 list of 2016. So if you're looking for something new, the new single Caramel is alright. There's some stuff, but if you're going into this and you've already heard the other stuff, you might be a little disappointed because the best stuff you've already heard. But for those who are going into it cold, I think it's easily Lloyd's best album. Album of the year, and let's not go that far.
Oh, we're not going there. Tom, now, it's interesting because the first time I remember somebody doing this where they put like songs from their EP on an album was Miguel with Kaleidoscope, because he released it in 3 different parts. How do you feel about an approach like that? Because I feel like a lot of people miss out on the EPs because there's so much music that comes out. I think this is not a bad idea.
I don't have a problem with it. I think it's fine. I don't know what numbers the EP did. Like, if it did like platinum numbers, then you figure most fans would have heard it. But it's tough to say. I wonder how his core fans feel about it. But I haven't heard any complaints. I don't know if you guys have.
No, I haven't at all, really.
So that confirms that nobody listened. Sad time.
Oh, man.
No, people definitely listen to it. But my point is, if people... We're in this weird music culture now where I remember an era where you would, like, what's his name? Jesse Powell, for example, his big song, You. I remember that being out a long time before it hit in like 98, 99, whenever it was on that album. It might have even been on the previous album. So it's not unheard of for songs to pop up on other albums. Beyonce's Dangerously in Love, that was the same way. She named her whole album after a song from a Destiny's Child joint. So it's not unheard of, but in this era of I want new and we deserve all this new and we deserve a whole lot of stuff, I can see some fans whining about it, but so far everybody's just happy to see the man back. I'll be happy when he puts some draws on.
Jeez.
On a side note, so a lot of fans wonder like who runs, like I think Ryan King in particular asked who runs the I Got Soul social media page on Facebook, etc. And so we're gonna break this down. So John Betts, he commented on the Facebook page when we posted the Lloyd album and said, "I wonder if he thinks getting his song out will make more people listen." And some person on I Got Soul wrote, "We're listening." Tom, was that me or you?
Wait, what? Who was that? I was trying to think if that's something I did while drunk or something, but definitely not.
Okay. But yeah, the album was cool. I really enjoyed that. You can see that he's matured in his hiatus, and I gotta tell you guys, when he mentioned Irv Gotti in one song, I went nuts.
I'm sure you did. You were the first person that came to mind. Me and the police.
Yes. Shout outs to Irv Gotti. So go check out Lloyd's album. I thought it was a solid release, but we got another single. We got a single that came out, which is Maya's new single, G.M.O. with Tink. Tom, you interviewed Maya recently too. What did she have to say about this song?
Yeah, pretty much Maya has a close ear to the new current sounds of music. She said she spends a lot of time in the clubs, doing appearances. She hears all that type of music. So really, if that's all you're exposed to, I almost feel like it's like, because this is a bit of a trendy song, I'd say. So it's like if that's all she's being exposed to and hears, it's like she's going to follow that sound. And it's almost an argument that I'd start to see the side of. Because we used to complain, oh, they're going trendy, they're selling out. But, hey, man, even grown folks are now listening to trendier sound. So it's like, can you really blame artists for making that style of sound?
I really can't, unless if it's done well and you don't betray your current sound by doing it. I heard the song. I thought it sounded fine. My beef is just really unmemorable more than it being bad. Sometimes we have a lot of, especially veteran artists, who will go out and just completely do something that's just completely out the box and it don't work. But this works for her, so yeah. I mean, I think she'll have fans. It's just to me, but I think people appreciate it.
I gave props to Maya when I saw her because it's like she's so active as an artist these days, releasing albums, releasing EPs, now another single even after her album came out. And most artists from the 90s are not doing anything. I mean, we don't have to name the names again. We bring them up like every episode, but it's like at least she's being active and creative.
Darnell Jones, we love you.
Darnell!
So I heard the single and I'm not a fan. The lyrics are definitely too young, but what I will give Maya credit for, she brought Tink along and brought her back from the dead. And Tink did well. Tink never disappoints. Listen, Ed, if they don't...
like 3 months ago.
Ed, we're in a microwave era, just like Tom said. It's the fast food era. If you don't drop a record like the previous week, you're dead to me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, you just keep eating your Waffle House chicken and waffles. No, that was White Castle chicken and waffles.
Yes.
Oh, I would love to have some Waffle House.
Yum.
Waffle House is a delicacy, man.
Waffle House is the T-Pain of fast food.
What?
It makes my skin crawl.
Wow. Speaking of making your skin crawl, Ed, have you seen Traci Braxton's new album cover?
Oh no!
It looked like Shang Tsung just like sucked the soul out of her.
It looks like what's the girl named Sindel with the hair?
Yes.
Like, I guess she's like whipping her hair, but like she's covered in baby powder. So if you look at it, it looks like the X-ray of a brain. Look, player, I have not heard the album, so I can't speak on the album. But that album cover is something else.
Yes.
Tom,
you brought it up.
Creativity.
What was your first reaction when you saw it, Tom? Because you posted it.
I didn't know what was going on. I thought I didn't know what to think, really. I mean, I don't know. But hey,
I'm looking at
least
it now. She's got baby powder all over her legs. What a mess.
So, should we judge the album based on the album cover?
I think that's fair.
Of course, you would think that.
That's not fair. We haven't had a chance to listen to it.
Yes, I'll listen to it and report back next week. But man, this album cover sure is something.
I don't even know if she has underwear on.
Calm down.
Why are you looking? Oh my gosh. First we had Lloyd in the woods with his drawers off, and now we're accusing Traci of being drawsless.
Who knows, man? That's artistry. You can't question the creative types.
To be honest, guys, if you're naked on your album cover, there's a very good chance that it's good. Trey Songz dropped Ready, and he was topless.
Topless?
Topless is not naked. And
I think he was naked too.
Oh, we don't want to know.
And what?
Same with D'Angelo, the Voodoo album. Was he wearing pants in that?
I wasn't looking that far down, dude.
Oh, sorry. we're not doing that? Okay.
No, we're not doing that. Who was the other dude that had the naked cover lately? Was it Elijah Blake?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. The
He
Butt
was butt
Cheeks
naked.
album cover.
Yes.
Yep.
Everybody just put some clothes on.
Wait, didn't Keith Sweat have an album where he was naked?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
His albums to get the ladies naked. He's not naked.
Okay.
I think he was wearing a shawl and a cane on one cover.
No, that was my album cover. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Let's. We got a couple of projects that I just want to quickly plug before we move forward. Case is dropping an album on Friday. I'm kind of concerned about this one because I think Tom, me, and you are the only ones that know that Case is dropping an album. But he has a record with Slim, and he has another record with Teddy Riley and Tank on the album, so that should be cool.
You know who's going to know about the album is the however many thousands of people he performs in front of while he's supporting that tour of, who is it? Roy RGBW or something? How do you say it?
BBD with Bobby Brown.
Roy G. Biv?
New edition.
Oh yeah,
Johnny
I forgot
Gill.
about this. Yes,
Yep.
I forgot about the Alphabet Soup New Edition. Yes.
Yes.
Right.
He's supporting them on tour, so, hey, plug the album every show. Boom, there's some sales right there.
Yep. Actually, that reminds me, when I was at an Ashanti concert not too long ago, and she had just dropped that record with Ty Dolla $ign, she literally went on the mic and was just like, "Hey, I have a new single out with Ty Dolla, go check it out." And then she just quickly like flipped over to like Happy, and everyone forgot the song already. Good promotional
See,
tool.
the key is you gotta wait till they pull out their phone and download it before you start performing again. Saying like,
Yep.
I'm not going to continue performing unless I get 100 downloads right now.
Wow.
Hold them hostage.
Some more records coming out. Estelle's new project is dropping, I believe, either next week or the following week. I need to double check on that one. It's like a Jamaican reggae album, which Ed is very excited about. And then finally, Tamia is dropping her new album.
Yes.
And Ed, I know you listened to it already. We'll talk about it once it comes out, but just a couple of albums to keep in mind. I think, and actually, Marsha is dropping a new album at the end of the month, right, Tom?
Yeah, it got moved to the 28th. It was originally going to be the 14th.
Okay, so Marsha is going to be coming out. Ed, she just dropped a new record just the other day. Did you get a chance to listen to it?
Yeah, I listened to it right before we hopped on the podcast and right before I stared at Traci Braxton's powdery legs. The song's called Flood. I like it. It's typical Marsha. It doesn't break any new ground, really. And that's the one thing that has me a little hesitant about the new album. As most people know, I've loved both of her two prior solo releases, and both had like just this really standout single. I haven't really heard any standouts yet. Everything's just good. So hopefully she's saving the heat for the end of the month. But it's definitely, if you're a fan of Marsha, go check out Flood. I like it okay.
Nope. And go ahead, Tom.
And I can't forget to mention Marsha's last album was one of our favorites when it came out.
Yes, indeed.
So I'm
Yep.
expecting big things from this one.
Although I'm not gonna lie, ever since we had Soul Child up in here and he complained about like Marsha's singing and how it sounds like she's laughing all the time, I can't get that out of my head. So I might have to skip this album.
I'll be honest, I pretty much erased that from memory immediately after he said it because it didn't make sense.
Oh.
Same.
Okay. My girl H.E.R dropped a new record to tribute Aretha Franklin. She sampled Daydreaming. That was a cool record. But Tom, are you ready to speculate?
I'm ready to speculate.
So most recently, H.E.R tweeted out something that was like pretty. Like, I think it was like a subliminal diss to SZA, but I can't really confirm. But it sort of coincides with what we've been feeling for a while now. And H.E.R tweeted out, "Why do singers who don't have an accent sing and pretend like they do have an accent?" And I'm pretty sure that was a shot at SZA. Tom, isn't it too early for her to be taking shots at people?
No, guys, let me speculate on this one. I think her
Okay.
team wrote that for her because I think it was a great idea. You know why? Because I think a beef would be good for her right now. Why not? She's got nothing to lose. There's no SZA stands that are going to shoot her down like a beehive would. So why the heck not? And is she wrong? No. So
No.
I like it.
Oh my gosh. Can someone with some sense speak? Let me do that since no one else has it around here. As far as this subliminal, I don't feel like it was a carefully curated thing. I think she was just wilding out and just kind of like, oh, here's this funny thing I'll put. No one will know what I'm talking about unless they do. Ha ha ha. I do kind of think it's a shot at SZA, but I don't know. She's the only person I can think of that sings with an accent, so to speak. Because a lot of people who have accents, you can't really tell it when they sing. So,
Yep.
I don't know. I guess it's her, but again, what was the point? I mean, a beef with SZA. Come on now.
I mean,
Tom?
someone needs it to diss LMA for not singing with more of an accent because she actually has an accent.
Come on.
God. So you're going to be mad at Marsha for not singing with an accent, but she's too busy laughing through her vocals?
We got to start dissing these artists and tell them to keep it real.
Yep.
Well, that's how you get hot in these internet streets. We got to start beef with another podcast.
Only if there was another R&B podcast. Oh.
Tom, can I add on to the speculation?
Stop.
Let me
Go
add
ahead.
on to the speculation. So, a member of H.E.R.'s marketing team is none other than Call Me Dollar. So, I'm speculating that Dollar tweeted that out.
I
Hey,
mean, do we really know that Dollar is on the marketing team? Or is he just a big stan?
That's true too. Moving on.
Here we go with the starting beef with other R&B personalities on social media.
Tom did that with This Is R&B a while ago, so I got to continue the trend.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
I forgot about that.
Next week, Ed will be taking shots at thisisrnb.com.
Oh my god, I'm
Just
good
kidding.
with
We
everybody.
actually like thisisrnb.com, so I'm just kidding. Guys, can we get into the Playa Please Awards? We have a couple here.
Of course. I mean,
Yeah.
of course, once you give yourself one, then we'll be all good. But yes.
Okay. I want to start off. We're going to take it easy at first. Tom actually sent this to me. There's this R&B concert flyer. I believe it's happening in L.A. Tom, you found it on Mike of 112's Instagram page. Can you tell us what this Playa Please is for?
Well, I sent it to Kyle, and I'm like, hey, who are these people staying next to Mike and Slim of 112 on the flyer? Like, you know, when they show the whole group. It wasn't Duran and Q. So I'm like, Kyle, do you know who these people are? And you confirmed it for me. It was
His backup dancers.
Yep. Yep. Because you saw them live, so you knew what they looked like. And it was
Yeah,
actually
I met them
Well,
too.
Speaking of that, players, I saw the flyer as well, and it was like introducing Chalk, and I was like, who is Chalk?
I don't
what was
think we
that?
even noticed
And
that.
I didn't.
I noticed it, and then Kyle told me that, yes, again, it's yet another backup person.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Is that
Yep.
Is
acceptable?
that
Ed?
how... Since when are we getting backup people getting their own shout-outs on the flyers? I mean, good for you for... I mean, they are the unsung heroes of a lot of shows, but we just throwing anybody on the flyer. Only 17 people on the flyer at one point. Well, it's about 20 on this one.
To be fair, guys, Jazz has been on every Drew Hill concert flyer for the last 6 months, and he's not even part of the group anymore. So,
Yeah.
Well...
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
yeah.
Stay
Like,
tuned
Smokey,
for more on that.
Smokey
Yeesh.
needs to get his shine. Let him on the flyer.
Yeah, but do you ever see when they put Genuine on the flyer? It's usually a photo from like 7 years ago.
Yes, I have noticed that. I'm like, why are we putting their prom pictures on the flyers? You don't look like that no more.
Well, be on the lookout for that concert. Next Playa Please. I don't think we talked about this, but Sony admitted that on a couple of records that they put out, one with 50 Cent, that the vocals from Michael Jackson weren't actually Michael Jackson vocals. They were done by an impersonator.
Now, we got to clarify that. That was on the... Which album was it? It was like the most recent album.
It's not the Timbaland
They-
album. No.
No, it's not that one. It was the other one. I can't think of the name of it.
I didn't even
But,
listen
yes.
to it.
That's the most illegal
Oh, no,
thing I've
I-
ever heard.
I listened to it, and most people actually said, and including me, that it didn't sound like him. Now, to be fair, I think that the lawsuit has been thrown out. I think. I have to go back and check, because I think there's been, like, since that initial news has come out, some stuff has changed, and they've said, oh, it is really him. But the point is, I question those vocals, and we've all questioned them since 2014. I don't know if that's really Michael. Even his family has been like, that ain't him. If your mama say it ain't you, then it probably ain't you.
Yeah. Tom, can you imagine finding out that half of Music Soul Child's album was actually recorded by Ed?
By Ed? Pretty soon, you guys are going to replace me on this podcast with an impersonator and say it's me and force the impersonator to say they like Keith Sweat.
There you go.
Oh, we might have to get that going next week. I'm sure Barry has a good Tom impersonation in it.
Barry!
Right. But Ed, the most important question of all then, as we talk about Michael Jackson's vocals. Drake's song with Michael Jackson, now that you know all of this, is that Michael Jackson on the song?
No.
Wow.
That is
Wow.
Jackson Michaels, some employee that works down at the Lon John Silver's, giving Kyle his first taste of Hush Puppies.
Wow.
That reminds me of that Simpsons episode with Michael Jackson. Remember that? You seen that?
Yep.
Oh, that's a classic. Of course I've seen that.
When the guy
Yep.
didn't even look like Michael Jackson, but he had the voice. Yeah.
Yep.
But at
It was
least he
Michael
had
Jackson.
the voice.
Yeah.
It was actually Michael Jackson.
Yes.
No, I know, but
now
like,
we
you
got the
couldn't
reverse.
tell by looking. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got the people that's looking like Michael, sounding like Jermaine.
All right, a couple more Playa Please. I wanted to save the last one because it's probably going to get pretty long. But speaking of long, Aretha Franklin's funeral. Can we talk about that?
Oh, no.
Oh my God. Play, I am taught to death about that because if you check out my Facebook page, folks are heated about the Ariana Grande dress situation. And I've been fussing about that for 48 hours.
Well, I wasn't really going to talk about that part. I was going to talk about like the fact that it was 6 hours long, and there's like this meme of Bill Clinton throughout the entire funeral, and he's bored out of his mind. So was it necessary to have a 6-hour funeral? That's a long, long time.
Player, let me tell you something about black funerals. You're lucky if you can get away from most of them in 2.5 hours. So you got Aretha Franklin, you got 1,000 R&B and gospel luminaries, and everybody and their mama's going to speak. You're lucky it's not still going on. 6 hours, that's light work.
Yeah, but I read an interesting comment. Did they serve food? Like, was there an intermission?
Please, you get your green beans and your baked chicken after the burial.
After? You gotta wait 6 hours
Yep.
for food? Oh my goodness.
Yes, you do. You gotta go through. You sit through that whole thing, and then you go and the pallbearers take forever to get the thing in the hearse, and then you follow the little hearse thing all the way to the cemetery with the little cops driving beside you in motorcycles. You turn on your headlights so you don't lose track of anybody. Then you stand at the site for 400 hours and get your shoes all dirty. And then you finally go get your beans and your baked chicken.
Jeez, man.
I've been to my share of funerals.
Bill Clinton must have been starving.
Tom's definitely getting drunk after that funeral. I'm kidding.
We shouldn't make a joke of a funeral, but I'm just saying.
No,
like,
we should not.
they should have had concession stand, like, ushers going around, handing out Cracker Jacks or something. I don't know.
Do you think somebody's going to walk through with the cotton candy man walking through?
Oh. All right. Last Playa Please. I don't even know, because Ed, I think you're going to dispute this Playa Please, but Lauryn Hill most recently responded to Robert Glasper's comments about her and her poor management skills with her staff and her band. Lauryn Hill wrote an essay that I think was like in APA format and was like, you know, indented in the whole thing. What's going on in this essay?
Oh, player. I can't. Did we discuss the Robert Glasper Lauryn Hill thing? I can't remember if we talked about that here.
No.
But the long and short of it is, Robert Glasper was on an interview that's basically like, I know Lauryn Hill, I've worked with her, she sucks, she's very difficult, and she's overrated. That's the long and short of it. So she writes this essay. Someone, of course, sent me the link. And you know, if it was on Medium, and if you read stuff on Medium, it has an estimated read time at the top. And I opened it up, and it was like, estimated read time 13 minutes. I was like, what is this? This is like a half a TV show. But I read it. It was long. It was a lot. But I will say there were some decent points mixed in. I know it's not cool to say that Lauryn Hill isn't a washed up has-been, but she had a couple of alright points. One thing was about, she was like really talking about her legacy, and she kind of made a great point about that for those who say, oh, she's just one album. She's pretty much more than one album. It's just the one album that gets talked about. And her legacy and really being the one to open the doors for a different type of female MC, she was right about that. That's true too. Now, she made a ton of other excuses about why she's late and, you know, respect her creativity and blah, blah, blah. Something about playing a guitar. I was falling asleep while reading it. So it was, you know, 60% meh. But there was some truth nuggets in there if you actually read the thing, which I'm sure I'm the only one who did.
So, there you have it. So, does she get a Playa Please?
No, she gets a half a player, please. She gets a player.
All right, then. We're going to get into the SoulBack track of the day, Tom. I'm putting you on the spot. What is the SoulBack track of the day?
Let's go with a Lloyd song since you were raving about the album. I know you like his duet with Ashanti.
Yep.
His original single. Can I pick a different song, though, of a duet they had? Remember the song on Ashanti's album? It's called Take Me Tonight, I think. You know that one,
classic.
Kyle. Ed, you love that
classic.
one.
I don't love that one.
That's what we're going to go with. That is a classic right there. That's almost a 5-star song right there.
No, 5 songs. What? I
That's
like
like a
Southside
4.5.
better than that song.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Well, that's what
You
we're
get
going
these
with
3
today.
stars
Shout out to
and you
Lloyd.
like it.
Shout out to Lloyd. He's going platinum these days, and Keith Sweat is not. That's a fact.
Ugh.
That is a fact.
Please show me the platinum plaque that Lloyd has these days.
From the single.
Keith
True.
I think he did go platinum. Yeah, he posted it on his Instagram.
That song is 2 years old. We talking about the new single, the new album. You cheating.
Well, what was the last time Keith got a platinum plaque in the mail?
Well, Keith's gonna drop an album this year and put nobody on it and be like, I went 4 times platinum. That's cheating.
All right. I'd like to make or add on to onto this SoulBack track of the thing, SoulBack track of the day, because I've noticed over the last couple of podcasts you guys have been slandering me because you guys claim that all I do is listen to hard beats, knocking beats, and I can't appreciate real music.
I know what you're talking about.
So I'm gonna make I'm gonna do my own SoulBack track of the day, just so we're all on the same page and you guys know that I listen to real music and that I don't just listen to Timbaland and the Neptunes all day. We're gonna go with the record "By Your Side" by Sade, but the remix of that.
The remix?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Who remixed that?
The Neptunes.
Oh my God!
Yeah, get this guy off the podcast.
Yes, turn his mic off.
Can I say one more fun fact before we end this?
Maybe you're pushing your luck today.
I've never even heard the original. Anyways.
Oh,
You've never? Oh my! The man hasn't heard a Sade song. He don't know what Sweet Tea is and never heard of a Hush Puppy. It's time to put in new applications. Let me see if my man Ben is available.
Oh, Ben. We love you, Ben.
oh.
All right. What's going on with SoulandStereo.com, Ed?
Oh Lord! Besides being slandered by you two, Soul and Stereo is all good. We've been busy because it's been a busy week. We talked about the Lloyd album, so go there to see my thoughts in detail about that. True, like I said, I really liked it. Also, as most of you probably know by now, Eminem dropped a surprise album, Kamikaze, and the reviews have been mixed. Probably depending on what year you were born, it looks like, but I've got a review on my site, so if you want to see an unbiased review of M's new album, go check your boy out. Also, and I don't think I told you guys this, but I'll be featured in a upcoming piece for Adweek. Now, if you're not familiar with it, Adweek is a publication, this magazine's website. It's a pretty big deal, and it focuses on pretty much the advertising world, but it also delves into other stuff, pop culture, music, politics, some other things like that. So I was interviewed as part of a piece for that, and I shouted out our podcast, I shouted out my boys, I shouted out Soul and Stereo. Once that article comes up, I will share that with y'all.
That's awesome, man. Congrats, Ed. Thanks for the shout out too.
Look out for my people. Put on for my boys.
Dope. And Tom, what's going on with I Got So? I know you interviewed Maya recently at like a vegan restaurant.
No, it was going to be at a vegan restaurant. She's into the vegan lifestyle, but it got moved to an office space. But that was a cool interview. We talked about her last album and what she's working on now. We also put out our interview with KG finally that I did a few weeks ago. That's out there. And then we've got some other interviews coming out that you did, 112, right?
Yep, I did an interview with 112 last week, and that'll be out soon. Speaking of that KG interview, I woke up one morning and I saw you just fighting with the stand on on YouTube, and I thought that was hilarious.
Wow.
And I'll tell you about this off the air, but
I'm sure you will.
Yep. So
don't incriminate us on air, dog.
That appears to be it for this week's podcast. So what we're going to leave you with is some bonus content. We were trying to put a podcast together last week, but to be honest, there was actually nothing to talk about at all. But we did interview, or we brought in Anna Moore for a segment. It was just me and Tom at the time. We're going to play it for you at the very end of this. So after this is over, if you want to tune in, there's some pretty funny bits in there. But with that said, we'll see you next week. Welcome back to SoulBack. Like I said, another week, another special guest. And, you know, we always try to bring somebody that has brought soul back. And, Tom, we have a new artist that has done that with her EP and some of the music she's released over the past year. Tom, who's the special guest?
We're excited to announce a special guest today, someone who we've recently discovered. She's certainly been at this for some time now, but we were really excited to hear her submission. We were raving about her on social media and on the site. And just a breath of fresh air, the music, you know, it's exactly what we want to hear in a time when we don't get to hear a lot of this traditional sounding R&B. So we're really excited to have Anna Moore with us on the podcast today. Welcome, Anna.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, I mean, you sent us that submission, must have been a few weeks ago, maybe even a couple of months ago. You know, I guess what's it like for you as an artist, you know, getting your music heard as an independent artist, before we talk about your music, but, you know, just sending out those submissions? What's it like trying to get heard?
It's tough, honestly. Like I was telling you before, there are so many artists, like so many artists nowadays. So just trying to get heard, or just trying to get people to even know you exist is like, it's really, really tough. But, you know, you just got to keep going, and eventually, you know, it'll get to the right ears or to the right person. So, but yeah, it's definitely, it's tough.
And I'll just say, you know, for all the listeners, we get probably hundreds, if not thousands, of submissions every year. And we actually take the time to listen to all of them. Some of them, honestly, we just hit play, and after 2 seconds, we hear a trap beat and immediately stop playing and delete. But we try to listen to everything. So, I mean, just to let you know, only very few of the submissions make it to the site, only because a lot of them are not of the quality you'd expect. I mean, Anna mentioned there's so many artists out there nowadays, and there really are. And so many of them hit us up, but really the quality's not there. So that's why it's exciting to hear an artist like an Anna Moore, and, you know, among all those submissions. So definitely excited to hear that quality music.
No, absolutely. Now, Anna, when you're submitting your music to different websites and blogs, how do you maintain your confidence? Because not every website is going to be posting your music just because there's so much out there. You know, how do you just maintain that confidence and know that you're doing the right things?
I try not to think about it too much, to be honest. I go in with an open mind and saying either they're going to listen to it or they're not, and just keep it moving pretty much. Because, you know, like I was saying, there is, and like you just said, there's so many people submitting music, and there are a lot of talented people, really great voices that may be stronger than mine or whatever, or have a bigger backing than me, but I just have to ignore all of that and just say, hey, you know, I hope that it gets to the right ears, that person appreciates it, and, you know, it goes through. But yeah, just shoot for it, that's all.
Take us through your journey to this point. I mean, we just discovered you, but I know you've been making music for years now, so like, what's your history in music?
Well, it started out, well, I know I told you through the email, but I've been doing music forever, writing forever, since like elementary school years. And obviously during those times, you know, they weren't as complex as now, but I just always loved writing, and I always loved music. And I just write from experience and feelings and thoughts. And I don't go into it thinking like, oh, I got to make this sound like this so people will love it. I make it because I just love making music, and I hope that other people will listen to it and say, hey, you know, I can relate to that, or, you know, I like that song, or I like how she wrote it, and just people that they just enjoy it, really. So, But yeah, I've been independent pretty much forever. Just doing everything on my own, just making music, honestly. And then, you know, I've made some mistakes when I was younger, some poor decisions, et cetera, and it held me up. And, you know, so that's why I guess you could say it's taking a little long. Then, like, people will be like, oh, well, why isn't she out there already? But I feel like everything is going to happen when it's supposed to happen, and everything is timing. So I just keep going, just keep writing, just keep making music.
How do you not get discouraged, I guess, because you're, like I mentioned, your music is, you know, kind of rooted in traditional R&B. But how do you not get discouraged when you have an artist or artists who are, you know, like a Tank or someone like that who kind of goes towards the trap sound, abandons that more traditional sound? And how do you stay with the more traditional sound as opposed to trying to, you know, be more gimmicky? Because when I listen to music, I don't hear anything like that. It's so genuine. So, like, does that get discouraging for you, or how do you feel about it?
Not really. Like, sometimes I'll be like, oh, maybe I should try that sound, but then I'll listen to it and I'm like, that doesn't sound like me, and I sound weird doing that kind of music. And there's nothing wrong with it, like the current sound or anything like that, but it's just not me. So if I were to do like a trap song or anything like that, it kind of doesn't sound authentic, and it takes away from, you know, what I sound like. So I don't ever want to lose that. So I just feel like I should just keep going with what sounds right for me. So.
Gotcha.
Cool. Now, Anna, your music, like Tom mentioned, so rooted in traditional R&B. Just tell us some of the albums that, to this day, that you love, that like are close to you, from the 90s or maybe the 2000s that, you know, you look at as like some of your favorites.
Ooh, my favorites. I like Aaliyah's album, the One in a Million album, which she worked on with Timberland and Missy Elliott. I love that. I just love her voice. It's so 90s, and I love that sound. And I just like how chill it was. Like, she has like this vibe that's like just really chill, and I love that about her. So, you know, that was one of my favorite albums. And then, of course, you have Missy and Timberland with their production and everything, and that just made it like super unique. And Michael Jackson, I love all of his albums, so it's kind of hard to pick one. But yeah, I love Michael Jackson's sound. I listen to him to this day all the time. But yeah, I like so much music that it's hard for me to be like, oh, I just like this one specific album the most. But yeah, definitely, I like a lot of the 90s music, as you can tell.
Definitely. In your bio, it mentions you're from Philly to ATL. You know, we talk about another artist on this podcast, just about every single podcast, because he's a favorite of ours. And that's Music Soul Child, who's also between Philly and ATL. Is he one of your favorites?
Yeah, I remember his song when it came out long time ago. Just Friends, I think it was. Yeah. I loved his voice. And the other song he had that was really good, Beautiful, I love that song, where he was singing in like a falsetto the entire time. I love that. But yeah, I love Music Soul Child. I love his voice, and I love his writing too. He's really dope.
Cool. So let's talk about your projects. You just released this Cloud Surfing EP, which is dope. You know, talk about that project a little bit.
Well, it was inspired by just having positive energy and like positive thinking and just having good vibes. I just wanted to like make a EP that was about like just feeling good and just being in a good space mentally. So that's
awesome.
what that album was pretty much about.
What's
Tom,
your goal?
I know you.
Oh yeah.
Actually, Tom,
go ahead, Tom,
not to cut you off, but I know you had a couple of favorites off, you know, the project.
Yeah, I mean, hearing the EP and then, you know, the first music you submitted to us, One Day really caught our attention because it's so relatable. But then hearing the EP, this song For You, definitely, and even the title track, Cloud Surfing, we loved. I mean, just the vibe of the music is so different than anything out there. It's like, it's almost like a throwback to the era we really loved hearing music in. I think I mentioned, like, your voice really reminded me of a young A. Marie and the young Aaliyah, and, like, that's what caught my attention, obviously. You know, someone in their mid-30s, I grew up on that music, so definitely, you know, love what you're doing, and it's just, like I said, a breath of fresh air.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you.
I mean, what's your goal as an independent artist? I mean, is the goal to try to affiliate with a label? Is it just to, you know, put out music independently for the time being? Like, what are you looking to do?
Well, I would definitely want to link up with a label, get with the label, because obviously they have the resources to expand to, you know, a much larger audience. But it would definitely, I would want to be on a label where they, like, would still allow me to be me. I don't really want to, like, deviate from, like, the type of artist that I am. But yeah, right now it's just being independent, trying to get my music heard by pretty much everybody and just kind of bring back the sound like we've been talking about, like that sound where it's like it's about lyrics and, you know, just that vibe where it's like R&B, like this is R&B that we remember from, you know, the 90s, that classic sound. So
right.
Cool. So, Anna, on our podcast, we ask every guest that joins us on the podcast this question because, like Tom mentioned, he's a huge Musiq Soulchild fan. Ed, who's not on the podcast today, but Ed's a huge Keith Sweat fan. So we got to ask, you know, who are you rocking with, Musiq Soulchild or Keith Sweat?
Oh, my goodness. It's not fair. Oh my God, that's really not fair. It's kind of hard actually, because I really like both of them. But I'm gonna have to go with Musiq because he's from where I'm from. So I mean, it would only be right. So I had to say Musiq. I'll go with Musiq.
Awesome.
It's actually been 50-50 with every guest we've had, but Tom, is it more of an age thing, or because I'm trying to think who picked Keith Sweat? There have been a couple that have.
I think most people just are able to realize that Musiq Soulchild is superior. I think, you know.
Oh,
it's not really an age thing.
Here we go.
Why don't we ever bring your favorite artist into this mix?
No, we're good.
He's a big Ashanti fan and Brandy fan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm a little younger than you guys, but yeah, Brandy is to me what Aaliyah is to you, probably, Anna.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she has a great voice, a really strong voice. I do like Ashanti too. She's actually a writer, so
yep.
That's what yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Let me actually ask you something, Anna. This is an interesting question because we're 2018, and most people don't even realize when music comes out these days because the way it's promoted is like so poor, unfortunately, and projects are going unheard, and it's really sad to see, especially with some of our favorite 90s artists. But like, what are some of the most recent albums or new albums you've listened to?
Oh, that's a hard question because I'm gonna be really, really honest with you. I haven't really listened to like a whole album of any recent artists, and that might sound bad, but
it's not.
I mean, it's just so many new artists, and it's like, I don't know. It's hard for me to be like, oh yeah, and just listen to the whole album. I don't know. So I'm gonna have to say I haven't listened to any whole albums. Just being honest.
Well,
yeah.
Well, let me
Tom,
ask you this.
Well, Tom, we looked at an article a while ago. They did a research where people over the age of 30, they stop really looking for new music. So, I mean, I think I'm pretty much almost at that point too. It's tough. So, and Anna, I assume you didn't sit through a 45-song Chris Brown album recently?
Oh, no.
That's a lot of music, so.
Well, Anna, did you know that Musiq Soulchild had an album out last year and also the year before?
No, I didn't.
Oh, man.
I did.
Yeah.
I know it's bad. It's bad. I really.
No, I know. We're not blaming you. We find it interesting because one of our biggest, troubles is trying to spread the word, and it's just so hard because these artists aren't always doing their part. And I'm not dissing music, but it's like so hard to get the word out nowadays. There's so much noise out there.
Yeah, I mean, I find myself just going back to the 90s. I always do that. I'm like, oh, there's so much new music coming out right now, and it's too much. And then I'll just run back to the 90s and listen to a playlist from like just a bunch of 90s artists.
Oh, see, Kyle, that's exactly what I was telling Kyle, that what it's like these days, because I don't even like listening to a lot of new music anymore.
Really?
But Anna, I assume then that you like the Bruno Mars album, because that is sort of like 90s R&B.
I've only heard what's been on the radio.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, you're just like me then, because I didn't even bother listening to it either.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys.
I kind of feel bad now, because I'm like, now I should go on Spotify and just start listening to like all the new albums that came out from all the new artists.
Wait, we can actually have fun with this. Can I put you on the spot real quick?
Oh,
okay.
Here we go.
I'm going to ask you when the last time this artist, and I'm not trying to make fun of you, this is actually extremely interesting to us. This will help us. Okay. I'm going to name an artist. Can you tell me the last time they released an album?
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
Just do your best. All right, ready? Yeah. Bobby Valentino.
Ooh, okay.
No Wikipedia, no Googling.
I'm not. I'm sitting here thinking.
Anna, if you say slow, the time when he released "Slow Down," I'm leaving this podcast.
No, I thought of that too. I was sitting here thinking. I was like, no, that would be the obvious choice. So I'm not. But I would have to say 2011. He released an album the last time. 2011.
Close. 2018.
Oh man. Oh.
Okay, I got another one for you.
Okay.
Toni Braxton.
Oh, 2018, right?
Yes. Okay, good.
Yeah.
You heard that one. All right. John B.
Oh my God. You know what? I know he's released some music recently, but I don't think it was 2018. I want to say last year, 2017.
Actually, that one was 2012, I think, or 2013.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Oh man.
All right, I got two more for you.
Two more, Tom.
You have any, Kyle?
You go with one more, and I'll take one.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Tamia.
We'll go with 2015.
Actually, you're close.
That is, that's pretty
what,
close.
2015 or 2016?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking right now. 2015, yeah.
Okay, good. You got that one. And she has a new album coming out in 2 weeks, actually, if you didn't know that.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that.
All right,
last one. Well, this is my favorite male singer, Mario. When was the last time he dropped an album?
I want to say this year, 2018.
No, he's set to release an album this year, but before that the last time he had put out an album was 2009. So.
Oh man. Well, does it count still because he's getting ready to release it? So.
Yeah, that we'll count that. That means you must have heard something.
You must have heard something recently.
That's good.
I believe, I saw a glimpse of it on Instagram.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
You got any more? That's it?
That's it for now.
No,
you did pretty good.
So
that was actually pretty interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't do that good.
So, Adam, when you're back on the podcast next week, we're going to test you on the Bruno album. We're going to do another 5-part. We'll see if you're doing your homework.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do my homework.
It's actually a lot of Spotify playlists, something we talk about. It's tough to just be able to turn on the radio nowadays and hear what you missed. It's like you really got to go on Spotify and these other playlists to find that new stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I need
or
to
or there's some websites like I got soul.com, which are there to help.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
All right, Anna. So, just to wrap this up, this is a question we ask all our guests as well. And actually, I find that a lot of our guests, most of them R&B artists, they can't really answer this because they don't really do it anymore. But what's your drink of choice?
And it's funny because I actually chilled with drinking, so I don't drink as much anymore. But I would have to say I like mojitos. I like mojitos. Yeah, they're pretty good.
I feel like I'm the only one left who's drinking these days. Everyone we bring on here is like, oh, I don't drink anymore. It's crazy.
Yeah, I chill with drinking, so it's been a while.
Fair enough. Healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, and then they had this new article. I don't know if you saw it. It was on Twitter, and they were saying that drinking is actually not safe at any level.
I did see that.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
They used to try to say 1 or 2 drinks a day was okay. So
yeah,
I never bought that anyway.
Changes. Yeah, they changed the study every couple years, and it's different. So it may be 1 drink now, and then next week it's 5 or something. So
right.
Who knows, really?
Yeah. All right, Anna. Well, it's been great having you as a guest. We want to thank you once again for joining us, and also just thank you so much for releasing great music. We love to hear it, and look forward to hearing a lot more from you.
Absolutely, and thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate that, especially being an independent artist. So thank you a lot, artist. So thank you a lot, artist. So thank you a lot, artist. So thank you.